Good evening, Julie. You're the first one here, I can see. I'm going to wait about 15 more seconds and then we'll get started. Thanks so much for sharing. Hi, Kathy. Okay, it's 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time, so I'm going to get started tonight. Just want to remind everybody that it's May 1st, and I have a new hostess code for those placing online orders with me. Just remember, anything between $50 to $149.99, you guys earn free products from me. Now tonight, we're going to be doing the alcohol ink lifting technique. I'm actually going to do 2 cards because I want to show you the difference between using Whisper White cardstock and glossy paper. You can see there's a big difference there. And I am using my Blends Markers for these 2 cards. The Blends Markers should be back in stock on May 21st. That's the date we've been given so far. Hi everyone. Hi Carol. Hi Gloria. Hi Kathy. Okay, so we don't need much for supplies for tonight. These are going to be 2 quick cards. The only thing, you're going to have to watch me color with the Blends Markers. Hi Patricia. Hello to my hubby. Okay, so I got 2 of everything because like I said, I'm going to create 2 cards to show you the difference. Rich Raspberry cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So I have 2 of those. Then I have Whisper White and glossy paper. And those measured 2 1/4 by 5.5. I'm also using the decorative ribbon border punch. This is carrying through to the new annual catalog, so we don't have to worry about that retiring. I've cut some of these ahead so you guys don't have to watch me. So we need 2 per card. I'm going to show you where they go, just under the white layer. And I've got 1 here that I'll cut, and those are 5.5 inches long. I also am using a paintbrush, rubbing alcohol, and this is just regular rubbing alcohol you can buy at any department store, 70%. Basic black ink. Now, for those of you that have seen the new catalog details, this is retiring as of May 31st. We're only going to have the memento and the stays on, but I'm going to use that tonight. The Hello Friend stamp set. This is also retiring. I love this font. I just love this set. And let's see, I'm also using the Tutti Frutti self-adhesive sequins. And that's about it for supplies. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the Rich Raspberry. And all I'm doing is coloring about 1/2 inch. I'm starting with the darker color. And then I'm going to bring in the lighter color, and I'm going to try to blend where they meet. Now I'm going to do this on both pieces of paper, but I'm doing 1 at a time so that they don't dry too fast. This is the pumpkin pie. What I noticed when doing the coloring on the glossy paper, the markers dry a lot quicker. And I'm going to go back and blend these 2. But you can still go ahead and blend. Now this is Daffodil. So all I'm doing is adding like a rainbow of colors. You can use any color for this. This is the lighter Daffodil. So as I said, this is the worst part, is what you watching me color. I've used this one a lot. I think it's starting to dry out on me. Oops, wrong end. As you know, our blends markers are not refillable. If you use them a lot like I did, they're going to start to dry out and you'll have to replace them. I'm hoping I have enough ink here to do the whole thing. I just pulled the whole cover off that one. And then we've got one more on this end. Now I notice I didn't go far enough here. I'm gonna have to add one more color on this end. Okay, let's go back with Rich Razzleberry. Whoops. Did any of you guys order some of the new colors today? This was the first day that customers could go ahead and order some of the new ink colors. Okay, now this is on the glossy paper. It colors totally different. It's more of a slippery paper, and this is where this one dries a lot quicker than the regular paper for some reason. You're gonna hear it squeak. I find that the glossy paper does not blend as well where the colors meet. Oh, Julie, you did order the ink colors. Good for you. You'll love them. The colors are so bright this year. Okay, let me try to blend these again. You guys can hear that squeaking, can't you? Once I have all the coloring done, it'll go quick after that. I didn't want to prepare these ahead of time because I wanted you guys to see how it colors, the color difference between just the Whisper White and then the glossy. Now this is my Daffodil Delight that's starting to run out, so I hope I can stretch it enough. Two more colors. Oh, Julie, I've heard some people say that before. They love watching other people color. It must be relaxing. Whoops, I keep flicking that over. Okay, so here's my glossy and here's my Whisper White. So you can see that the Whisper White blended a lot better. Let me move these aside. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the rubbing alcohol and pour some of that into it. This is an embellishment dish that I keep handy. I use that a lot just to do some of my techniques with. I'm actually going to take a paintbrush. I'm just going to dip it and splash it on there. And you'll see as time moves on here, it's going to start lifting the ink color. And you can do little dots. So you can see starting to work there. Let me bring this closer to the camera so you guys can see what it's starting to do. And that's because the alcohol markers and you're using rubbing alcohol. So you can put as many splatters as you want or as little. I'm just going to do a little bit more on this one. And then I'm going to let that dry. It's going to dry fast because we're using rubbing alcohol. Now, this is the one on the glossy paper. It turns it almost completely white. And what I found a little weird on the Whisper White, you can almost see an outline. See the outline of where the rubbing alcohol, and it doesn't eat the ink as much as this one does. So if you want a more subtle effect, you would go with the Whisper White cardstock. If you want a more drastic, then the glossy paper is the way to go. Okay, Okay, so let's set these aside just for a little bit. I'm going to bring in my card bases. And then we're going to stamp in the corners. And all I did was go diagonally. Just creating a little bit of a background. Now this is like a little leaf image. I'm just going to sneak that in here and there. And then we'll do this one. This one is a leaf, but it kind of reminds me of a bird. It almost looks like a bird in flight. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do there. I've got one more border strip to cut because I've already pre-cut these ones. Now, for those of you that have never used a border punch, you'll notice that there's lines right there where you should start out with your cardstock. It's just a guide. And then you slide this over and match the picture. Dawn, I didn't try this with a toothbrush because I think the splatters would be too small. I wanted more of a the bokeh effect. I wanted large splatters, so that's why I opted to use the paintbrush. I've actually never seen this done. I did this myself, so you could experiment if you wanted smaller splatters. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the cardstock. And instead of using the ruffled edge, I'm using the scalloped edge. I just want a little bit peeking out. And I'm going to put one on each side. And then we're just going to stamp over all of the, whoops, I almost did it the wrong way. We're going to stamp over the technique with a sentiment and a couple of the flower images. Yes, the backside does look neat. More on this one for some reason. It doesn't go through as much on the glossy. So this would be a kind of a cool technique to do too. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the hello. Isn't that pretty? It's so bold, and I love, oh, I shouldn't have put the glue on there. It's so bold, and I just love how that pops. You know what? I'm going to bring in my Stamp-A-Majig so that it doesn't pull out on me. I should have had my silicone mat ready too. I could have used that. Okay, now I'm going to add just a flower on each side. And then a couple of the leaves. But isn't the black pretty against the rainbow color? It just really pops. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to add a couple strips of glue on the card base. I don't want to end up touching the black. And let me get a piece of scrap just so I can put that on top. So there's card number 1. I think I can do this one. It takes a little bit longer to dry on the glossy cardstock. That's why I didn't dare handle that. This is the Whisper White. Okay, and I do need to trim that one a little bit. Oh, Regina, your internet is acting up. I hope it's not me. Now let me add a couple sequins. Now where I added my sequins, I kind of added color over color. So I'm doing this color over the rich razzleberry, the yellow over the daffodil, and the lemon lime over the old olive. I did forget to take out my rhinestone jewels. I had a class this morning and my jewels are way at the other end of the house. So that's all I would have missing. I did add a mix of jewels there in between, so I'll do that later. I don't have them handy right now. So you can see the difference in the white and the glossy paper. This is a fun technique to try, so I hope you guys will give it a try. And I hope you will load your projects in the comments section. And just a reminder that I have my regular Wednesday night class tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I've already shared the supplies that you guys need for class. And thanks for sharing and thanks for all the likes and the love, guys. See you tomorrow night.